Welcome back to another vintage video. My name is Edward, also known as Strategy, and today I have a little bit of a homebrew. This was a list I played at the New York Stacks Exchange 2 years ago now, obviously with updates. We have Tezzeret, which is probably the biggest update for the deck itself since I played the last event. And the other large update, of course, is going to be Fantasticar. Now, I'll admit, I'm just shoving Fantasticar into this pile, and I'm going to see where it goes from there. You'll notice we're not playing the One Ring. We're also not playing Workshops. I was playing City of Traders, but I'm going to decide to play Castle Doom over that City of Traders. With a lot of players playing Void Mirrors nowadays, I really do want to try this Castle Doom. Talon Gates obviously is another way to make colored mana, but I really want to try Castle Doom and see how it goes in the format. So here we are. Our main deck, we have 15 blue cards, so not the most, but similar to Jewel, you really only need the one force blue card usually in a game to kind of lock it up, and we're going to test that theory today. We're playing Underground River as it taps for blue, which is important for cards like Mystical Tutor to tinker for a Bolas' Citadel, but also colorless so we can play Glaring Fleshraker. We're still going to play 4 tops, although I did debate about cutting it to 3 since we have Tezzerets now. But because tops are so instrumental to activating Fantasticar, I'm going to still play the 4 in this test video. I am borrowing Hayden's Fantasticars for one more day just to make this video, so I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time tuning this, so I'm just throwing stuff at the wall and let's see what sticks. Assuming I can't borrow a playset of Fantasticars until the BNR, I will happily wait to play this deck again post assumed restriction, where I think I can add another blue card or two maybe. I did cut stock ups to play Fantasticar because the deck I played at the New York Stacks Exchange also played 4 stock ups. But when you're adding 3 Tezzerets and 3 Fantasticars, you have to make cuts. In our sideboard, we have Steel Sabotages, obviously for things like Null Rods, Dismembers for things like Oofs, Pithing Needles, mostly for Bazaar decks, Soul Guide Lantern for Bazaar and Underworld Breach decks, Magus Enthelatus for hopefully free wins with Karn, another Talon Gates, again, this is for cards like Archon of Emeria, Clarion Conqueror, Collector Oof, etc. Force of Negation, this is going to sound weird, but this is mostly just for mono-white initiative, so that we could hopefully counter an effect like a Void Mirror, or their fast mana like a Mana Crypt, which may lead into a turn 1 Clarion Conqueror. It's not really for decks like Jewel or maybe even Breach combo. I think with those decks, we're just going to try to present and race, and cards like Force of Negation really just make our deck very clunky. Keep in mind, we're also trying to take advantage of Mystic Forge, which you might ask yourself, why is Mystic Forge in a deck with a bunch of blue cards? Well, again, we have Sensei's top. So with Mystic Forge, it just says pay a generic mana, draw a card. I found Mystic Forge to actually be incredible when I was playtesting this deck the last time I was playing Vintage competitively. This was the deck that I was kind of brewing. I was able to win a bye with this deck. I was able to win the Tulsa Vintage League with this deck. I almost top-8'd the New York Stacks Exchange with this deck, losing to the eventual winner and Brian Koval the round right after that. And I'm looking forward to playing it here. Because Vengevine seems to be on a rise, I do think Sphinx of the Steelwind is going to be good again. Plus, I can always minus Karn to go get it to be a blue card to pitch to force. Plus, it being an artifact, Castle Doom can help cast it. My Underground Rivers obviously help cast it. But mostly we're here to Mystical Tutor tinker for it against the Vengevine decks in hopes it sticks. Lastly, Hull Breacher. We can bring this in against Breach. We've brought it in against Fantasticar before. Hayden actually got to see exactly how good Hull Breacher can be, even against a generic Fantasticar colorless deck. And obviously the big deck that this card is for is the Jewel Shops deck. I absolutely love being able to play Hull Breacher. Hull Breacher is probably my favorite card I get to play with if I'm not playing a Lurrus deck, and I'm super glad I get to play with it today. Without further ado, let's get to round 1. Do you like Pauper? Do you like supporting children? Want to know how you can combine your love for Pauper while supporting the Children's Miracle Network? Saturday, October 17th, Gray Fox Games will be hosting its third annual Extra Life Pauper event. Registration in-store starts at 11 a.m. The event will begin promptly at 12 p.m. It will be Swiss rounds followed by a top 8. Nearly $8,000 worth of MTG products are in the prize support. Companies such as WotC, Dragon Shield, Heavy Plate, Ultimate Guard, and many more have donated to the cause for your prize support for this event. 100% of the entries will go towards Extra Life. There will be $10, $20, and $50 donation grab bags. Extra prizes include deck boxes, rare cards, secret layers, pins, sleeves, dice, and much more. Daniel has even donated prizes from his personal collection. Last year, thanks to your generosity, Daniel was able to raise $3,800. Are you new to Pauper? No deck? No problem. They will have decks available to borrow, so you can just jump in and play for a great cause. Bring your friends, spread the word, and let's make this the best year yet. My friend Daniel Crabtree has been helping Extra Life for the last 6 years, helping earn thousands in donations for the cause. If you or someone you know would like to participate in this one-of-a-kind charity event, go to the link in my description and sign up. Can't participate but still want to help? Scan the barcode on screen now. On behalf of Extra Life, Daniel and I greatly appreciate your donation. Round 1 against Shockwave again. We won the die roll. That's incredible. What does this turn do? This is Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Fantasticar into Mindbreak Trap Key with Force Backup. We can try this. Hopefully Shockwave only keeps one piece of interaction. We won the die roll rolling a 2. That's awesome. Alright, let's go to main phase. Let's cast Mana Crypt. Let's cast Mana Vault. Let's cast Fantasticar. They have a force. Let's force back. Now, unfortunately, we don't have... Unfortunately, that was our 4th spell since we didn't have a land. But I'm still going to play out the key here. Oh, wait. Alright, and then key next turn will allow us to Karn. And that'll just have to be good enough. Okay, that's probably going to name key. So now we need to rip like an Ancient Tomb for Karn. Tails. Alright, Ancient Tomb for Karn. Grim Monolith. Not quite. But I'll still play it. Always yield. Yes. Let's smack in there for 4. Shockwave did pitch a Flusterstorm for what it's worth. Next turn we can get a Karn in play. I don't know what that's going to do against Tundra deck. I mean, I guess we're getting a Soul Guide Lantern with it. Okay, Urza Saga is not the greatest, so that means we can get a Pithing Needle, though. Oh, Time Walk. That's unfortunate. We can stop one construct, but they'll be able to activate in response, unfortunately. Assuming that they have a land, of course, which I'm going to. Okay, there's Underground Sea. That is unfortunate. Let's go to our turn, see what we draw. Tails. Alright, we want another flip. Draw step. Force of Will is not going to be enough. I am going to play the Karn still because I don't know what I would be doing otherwise. Like, I feel like passing in this situation doesn't seem the greatest. Let's -2 the Karn. Yes. We can Soul Guide Lantern, and I probably would if they showed Volcanic Island for breach potential. I could Sphinx of the Steel Wind to get blue card for Force of Will, but I think slowing down the Urza Saga is going to be the better line. If they have Mental Misstep, that's unfortunate, but we can't always have everything. Yep. There's a Construct. No response. Let's name Urza Saga. And let's get in there. Karn isn't going to be around for very long, but it'll also help with the race. Yep, they'll float mana. A Sensei's Divining Top would go a long way. A Tolarian Academy means we can Force of Will, but I don't know if that's going to matter or not. Teferi Time Raveler. Alright. Looks like they get a Soul Ring with the Saga into a Teferi Time Raveler. Yep, they're going to come in, put the Karn down. And let's see what we draw. Are they going to bounce the car? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. 3 mana Tezzeret. Uh-oh. Is this like Mox Sapphire for now? Okay, they do get a Sensei's Divining Top. Let's go heads. Alright, we lost. That's what we get for changing up from tails. Draw step. Another Force of Will. I do want to get a little bit more information, so let's just say go. Okay, top finds a Brainstorm. They Brainstorm. Probably play top again. Yep. Trigger Tezzeret again. They probably spin top again. Yep. Oh, is this like a Jace the Mind Sculptor? No, it's a Narset. That's scary. Let's see what they find, and then they can activate top post. They find Mystical Tutor, which I can only imagine is for a draw 7. Okay, we'll take 4. Lost another flip. Draw. Top's not going to be good enough. Let's look. Alright, we weren't winning this game ever, not once. Let's see if they want to show us anything or if they'll just go straight to combat. Okay, they do want to show us something. Yawgmoth's Will. That's good to know about. Yeah, I think I would have just gone to combat and let the Mana Vault kill me, but... Yep, Karn. That's also good to know about. We're getting very vital information. Shockwave giving us very important information like we did against them last time. Let's begin sideboarding. I don't hate Hull Breacher. Pithing Needle's annoying. I don't think we need a Chain of Vapor, but being able to bounce like a Narset in response to a draw 7, assuming they have one, is nice. Sorry that Esper Super Friends was not on my bingo card. I don't want a Mystical Tutor, and I think I'll trim a Force and bring in 2 Hull Breachers. I think it's nice still having a catch-all. Again, there is a Karn that this Chain of Vapor can bounce, and I think that's important. So let's just try it again. We'll be on the play again. Glaring Flesh Raker. This is turn 1 Mystic Forge into Glaring Flesh Raker. But our PO and our chain are basically dead. Let's mulligan. I think we're supposed to go to 5. This hand doesn't look good to me either. Okay. We'll keep this hand. Keep. We'll put back a Talon Gates and I guess a Grim Monolith. Done. And let's bring out... I guess I'd rather Mystic Forge resolve. So I guess I'm supposed to Glaring Flesh Raker first. And then if that doesn't happen, we can top. If they have like a Null Rod or a turn 1 Karn or something, that's unfortunate, obviously, but... Alright, they did not... Okay, they just didn't want to force the Glaring Flesh Raker. Got it. Okay. Well, I'm glad they forced the top. Mystic Forge coming down is going to be vital. Okay, stock up's the pitch. Mox Pearl. I cannot wait to own the Alpha Art Moxen and such. Time Vault, interesting. Okay, so if they have key, we're just dead. Alright, we've lost a flip. Fantasticar. Probably not good enough. Let's play Mystic Forge. Force of Will on top, not good enough. Let's pay 1. Ancient Tomb, still not good enough. Let's attack for 2. If they have a key, it is what it is. If they don't have a key, I like our shot. Alright, I don't want to draw this Ancient Tomb, so... Tails. Let's exile. Tezzeret. Okay, draw step. Glaring Flesh Raker. That's a good one. Let's play Glaring Flesh Raker. Oh, we have a key? Excellent. No response. Let's play Manifold Key. What is this? Mental Misstep. Sure, that doesn't matter. So, we played Flesh Raker and Key. If I Fantasticar here... Yeah, I think I can Fantasticar here. This is whenever you cast a colorless spell. And then let's cast Tezzeret. Alright, yep, we win. Alright, that was sweet. Glad we got to do the thing at least once. Now we're on the draw, but I don't think our game plan really changes. That was also a mulligan to 5 for what it's worth. Our opponent is a Yawgmoth's Will deck, but they don't seem to be like abusing Yawgmoth's Will. It seems to be more for value, so I'm not going to bother with the Soul Guide Lantern here. I think I'm just going to ship it back and hope for the best. What does this hand do? Not enough. This isn't even turn 2 Car or Flesh Raker, so let's mulligan. This hand is literal hot garbage. So I guess we're going to mull to 5 again. Shockwave also mulled to 6. Yeah, if we had a land in game 1, that would have been a nice, quick and easy 2-0 for sure. Shockwave mulligans to 5. We're going to mulligan to 5. I'm not going to go to 4. We have a serviceable hand. Let's call it good. So, Ancient Tomb, Soul Ring, Key, Force. I think that's fine. We're on the draw. We get a card. Let's hope for the best. Underground Sea into Recall. Yeah, we'll force that. And they force back pitching a Time Twister. Okay, sure. Well. Upkeep, draw. Fantasticar. Okay, we'll play a Fantasticar. You got me. Let's see what Shockwave follows up with. This is obviously a situation where we don't want to draw any of our blue cards. Okay. Strip Mine's fair enough. Let's go to our draw step. We draw Monolith. Nice. Yeah, I'll play Monolith. Let's crew the car. Attack for 4. Manifold Key is another 4 damage next turn. Brainstorm, okay. If they don't have a fetch land and we live a couple turns, then Brainstorm won't have done much. If they have a fetch land here, it's unfortunate. If they're passing, it's unfortunate. Okay, no, they have Underground Sea. Black, blue, Demonic Tutor. Okay. So they do shuffle the 1 card away, and now they're going to get the best card in their deck for this situation, which at least it's not Ancestral Recall. And now we have a decent number of good draws. Sensei's Divining Top's a great one, because it'll always trigger the Fantasticar for the rest of the game. The fact that Demonic Tutor's taking a minute to resolve tells me that Shockwave doesn't have like an immediate I win the game button here. I imagine that if they had a null rod effect, they would have just gotten the null rod. But yeah, I think Sensei's Divining Top is probably our best draw. Tezzeret would be a good draw, but obviously if Tezzeret doesn't resolve, we don't get to search for a top. Second Fantasticar is not the absolute worst, but it is a bad draw because it'll tap our Grim Monolith to cast it. Upkeep draw. PO is absolute garbage. Obviously, I should have untapped the Soul Ring, but whatever. 3 mana for stock up. Okay, so the Demonic Tutored probably for stock up. Or a land to cast their stock up. Which, one of the reasons why they could have gotten, say, Island over... Actually, I guess if they would have gotten land, they probably get Tundra. So, I'm going to assume that they Demonic Tutored for stock up. I was going to say that they might have Demonic Tutored for Island over, say, a Mox for if they have a no-rod effect. But again, if they had a no-rod effect, I really do think that they would have just played the no-rod effect and that Demonic Tutor would have resolved much faster. Luckily, Fantasticar triggers whenever you cast the spell, not if it resolves. So, if we can just draw something castable, we'll be good. A blue source at this point would be good for PO. We can draw Talon Gates, which we know one's on the bottom of our deck, unfortunately. Castle Doom won't do it because Castle Doom only lets you cast artifacts off the colored. Castle Doom would let us sack a Grim Monolith, I suppose, for a Doombot. Not the worst in this situation. Karn finds us a Soul Guide Lantern, I suppose, to draw a card with. It could also, I guess, find Mycosynth Lattice the turn after that. Okay, stock up resolves. Might not have been a good stock up. They're not doing anything with it afterwards. Upkeep draw, very important. Top. Okay, top is a great draw, as I said. Yes. Let's see if top resolves. They might need to force top, because top guarantees basically that Fantasticar is going to activate every time. It also lets me draw an extra card with Manifold Key. I would Force of Will this top. Like, it's guaranteed Fantasticar activation. It's an extra card thanks to the Manifold Key. I'm not letting Sensei's Divining Top resolve in this situation. Okay, let's full control. Let's draw a card. In response, untap another artifact. No response. Tap to draw a card. No response. No response. So I just have more tops. Okay. So I cast top as one spell. I think I'm supposed to just go for it. Draw a card. So now if they have a counter spell, they need to do it. Otherwise, I just draw top and win. I think if they had Mental Misstep, they would have just snapped Mental Misstep to the first top. But if they don't Force of Will, they know that my top card is top and that I will activate the Fantasticar. Yep, okay, there we go. They pitch the Mystical Tutor. So no response. No. Okay. Let's go to combat. We'll attack for 4. We'll pass. Opponent's on a 2-turn clock, 4 cards in hand. We know a top is on top of our deck. If it resolves, we get to Manifold Key, draw an extra card. If it's a blue source, we might win on the spot. Mana Crypt. Okay, so opponent is saying that they're going to win this turn effectively. Karn. That's brutal. Okay. So their stock up was probably Mana Crypt Karn. And now they get rid of their own Mana Crypt as they should. We know our top card is obviously Sensei's Divining Top. We need to draw a land. This has been a great game regardless of what happens. Tolarian Academy, by far our best draw. Not even close. Manifold Key. Okay. Do they have Time Vault? Merchant Scroll. This might be for Time Walk, which then gets Manifold. This might be for Time Walk, which then gets Time Vault. This might be for Tinker, which then gets Time Vault. Gets Force of Will. Alright. Solarian Academy off the top one time. Oh my gosh. Yep, they have the Time Vault. Good games. Round 2, playing up against Tony Scapone. I wish we were on the play. I also wish we had a keepable hand. This hand is close to a keep, but it's not. Let's mulligan. This hand seems fine. Not great, but fine. I am going to keep this hand bottoming a car. Ruby, Mana Vault, Fantastic Car, Mystical Tutor, cracks car. So yeah, let's keep. Done. Let's hope that Tony doesn't turn 1 us or have Force of Will backup. Looks like Tony mulligan to 4. Is this a turn 1 Jewel? That's incredible. Yep, turn 1 Jewel. Chance of having Force of Will getting higher and higher. Into Tinker, okay. For probably another Jewel. Yep. Mox Ruby. The One Ring. Okay. Sure. Well, let's go to our turn and cry a little. Ancient Tomb. Alright, well, let's Mox Ruby. Let's Mana Vault. Let's pray they don't have Force of Will blue card. Mystical Tutor. Let's just go get Time Walk, I guess. I don't know if it actually matters. Let's draw a bunch of cards. Okay. So let's Karn into Time Walk. Time Walk. Minus. Yes, we'll get Micas and Thalatis. And then we'll go to our turn. Alright, good games. I did in fact have good luck and fun. Alright, playing against Jewel. That was pretty nice. Glad this deck is showing that it does in fact have legs. So, we talked about this before. We definitely want Hull Breachers. I don't think I want to be spending time, like, countering Jewels and such. Although I can see it being good. I know I don't need the Chain of Vapor. That one's easy. I do think because their Force blue count isn't the highest, that Mystical Tutor might still be good enough. I guess Mental Misstep's not great against them. I do want to keep my blue count as high as possible, so maybe I just trim a Tezzeret. I'm bringing in Hull Breachers. Sorry, Mental Misstep's good at countering Vexing Bauble, and I guess Soul Ring. I don't know. Let's keep a Tezzeret and take out a Mental Misstep. Let's submit. This hand seems great. Keep. Let's see if we're gonna get turn 1 again. Voidmere, not great. All right. Well, we have a few lands that can get around this. Vexing Bauble. That's unfortunate. I don't know what I'm supposed to discard here. I feel like it's just Vexing Bauble, honestly. Voidmere and Vexing Bauble do very similar things. Is this a One Ring? Relic of Sauron. Okay, sure. A Castle Doom would be insane. Upkeep, draw. A PO. Let's just pitch a PO. An Underground River is a decent draw because it lets us Mystical Tutor for recall. Transmute for One Ring. Okay, that makes sense. Another Relic. Okay. Another Workshop. It's another Voidmere. Ruby. That's unfortunate. We'll pitch the Ruby. Maybe on the draw we do want to bring in Steel Sabotages. Maybe on the play we want to bring in Steel Sabotages. But I think I'd rather just try to turn 1, Tony. Trinosphere. Okay, that's probably enough. Yeah, I think Steel Sabotage is just slow us down. I'd rather have Force of Will over Steel Sabotage just to help protect our plays. Let's just submit and win a game on the play. This seems good. Let's keep. Obviously, if Tony has a force here, it's going to be unfortunate. But getting to untap with Karn seems great. Okay, they mulligan to 6. Looks like they keep 6. Let's go to main phase. Mana Crypt. If they forced that, we would just be dead in the water. Grim Monolith. Let's cast Tezzeret. Let's untap the Grim Monolith. And let's get a Flesh Raker down, I think. Let's see what Tony's got for us. Workshop. If it's a Void Mirror, it's going to be unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Grim Monolith. Interesting. Tails. Fantasticar. Interesting. Let's untap Monolith. Let's play a Karn. Always yield. And that's enough. Welcome to round 3. I will be on the play. This hand is a bit unfortunate, but I'm going to keep it because we have Force Blue card. We can play the Fantasticar on turn 1 and hopefully kind of scare them into forcing it. And then we can have Urza Saga gaming from there. Let's play Ruby in case they want to force our fast mana first. I think they're more likely to force the first one. Okay. If they have a force, they might force this because we're 1 spell away from doing it, but it's whatever. I kind of hope they do force it, but if they don't, we have top to, you know, activate it later. Okay, I'm actually very glad that they forced it. They even pitched a Flusterstorm? Okay. Remember, just like in game 1 against Shockwave, if we force back, we've already cast the 4th spell. Ruby. Tolarian Academy, pass. Sure. Draw step. Ancestral Recall's a good one. For now, we're just going to Saga Gaming. Are they just passing? Interesting. Let's make a construct. I guess we're going to get Opal. I really hope that this lets me activate Saga in response. Last time I did Saga, it didn't let me. Let's hope that this works. Okay, yes. I can get Black Lotus now. So that I can cast Bolas's Citadel later, but I think it's fine to just have Bolas's Citadel as a dud. Ooh, I could just go get Bauble, actually. Yeah, let's get Bauble. But we have a Force of Will of our own. Bauble turns off their Moxen. Sure, let's get a Bauble. Let's attack for 5. We can recall next turn. They didn't play a land last turn. Okay. Upkeep, draw. Mana Crypt is unfortunate. Let's recall target us. See what they have to say about that. Interesting. Play Underground River. So I can play top and swing for 14, so let's do that. All right, next game. We didn't see hardly anything, but I think it's decently safe to assume that Hull Breachers will be good. I don't even know if they're a blue deck yet or not. I guess cutting Mystical Tutor and Chain of Vapor's fine. And bringing in the hull breachers. Again, I don't have much information to go off of. Interesting. I don't think this is a keep, but let's do our due diligence. We have Black Lotus Tezzeret. If Tezzeret resolves, we can get Mana Vault or Soul Ring off the Pearl. But there's this is already basically a 5-card hand, and if Tezzeret gets forced, I think we just auto lose. So let's mulligan. This hand seems infinitely better. Let's keep. I guess I'll bottom a Tezzeret. Mana Crypt, okay. Mox Ruby. Tezzeret. If we can draw a 0, we can Fantasticar, which is nice. Okay, they get a Mox Sapphire. They play the Sapphire. Alright, no land. Draw a 0? A probe. That counts as a 0. So I guess I want to probe first, right? Because I can probe Tomb, Mana Crypt, Fantasticar, then top. So yeah, let's probe them first. They do have Force blue card, unfortunately. So that being the case, I guess I'd rather them force the Tezzeret. Because they're going to force the Fantasticar, most assuredly. So let's make them force Tezzeret. Okay, they do force the Tezzeret. Pitching the Flusterstorm, as I assumed. So they have top Mox Sapphire. I'm sorry, they have top Lorien Revealed left. Which they can cast the Lorien Revealed, which is unfortunate. Alright. No response. And I am going to play the top because it's pseudo free to do because we can just draw step. In fact, if we draw Black Lotus, we can just Tezzeret again now. So let's just do this. Okay, mental misstep. Not the worst. We can hit top with that if they decide to play it. They did take 3 off their Mana Crypt. They're cycling Lorien Revealed. Interesting. I would have gone for the draw 3, but they may not have realized that they can untap Sapphire for it. Honest mistake, of course. Okay, they drew Flow State, so maybe that's why. Because they're still getting 2 cards, and they get to basically play everything. So that makes more sense. They may have drawn... Oh, obviously they drew Flow State. Obviously they drew Flow State for turn, but... Okay, let's counter this top. But yeah, the Flow State draw for turn definitely makes sense to cycle the Lorien Revealed now. Interesting. Okay, so they top back, or they mental misstep back. Last card in hand is Probe. The jig is up, as the kids say. We know top is coming down. I think we want a Tezzeret minus get Black Lotus and then Time Vault key them. So their last card has to be really good. So we can Tezzeret minus get Black Lotus. We get 1 more mana. We'll have 1 mana remaining. Black Lotus is our second spell. Fantasticar is our third spell. And then we'll go back down to 1 mana and then top, and that kills them. So let's hope that there's not a blue card force on top of their deck. Tails. Alright, let's see if Tezzeret resolves. Let's minus. We will get Black Lotus. We will cast Black Lotus. They should know our entire hand. They have to counter this. Yep, and they know that. Looks like they found something. Consigned to memory. Okay. Well, we have a top. What does drawing off top do? Nothing. So let's just say go and then time vault. They lost another flip. Demonic Tutor for time vault. Good game. So close. Oh, is this Tinker for time vault? Yeah, the Tinker for time vault makes sense because then they don't lose to their own time vault. I still want to see. I guess they're just going to activate Tezzeret a bunch of times. Alright, they eventually put an Urza Saga into play, and I conceded. Once again, I think I just like the way my deck is configured, and I'm just going to try to go off. I could see having, I guess, one Pithing Needle main for Tezzeret to go get. So I can name Time Vault, I guess, because I can always pick this up with a PO later. I just don't think that's necessary. I just, hopefully, maybe I can get a Tinker Citadel game where I get to kind of go off. Let's do this. Yes. Interesting. This is Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith 1 floating, Tezzeret. I'm sorry, Vexing Bauble first. This is Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith 1 floating, Vexing Bauble, Tezzeret. I don't know if that's good enough. Because, like, the Vexing Bauble, like, if I want to go get Sapphire, I have to sack the Vexing Bauble. I'm going to mulligan, but... Because here's the thing. I could go get Black Lotus instead of Sapphire, like, for PO, as an example. But I still need to sack the Vexing Bauble, so it's not protected. And if I get Black Lotus for Bolas's Citadel as the follow-up, and they have a Force of Will, I'm just dead. So I'm going to mulligan. This hand does seem much better. Let's keep this one. They also choose to mulligan to 6. I need to put a card on bottom. I think it's just Fantasticar. Let's play a Saga. Let's play a Mox. Let's play a Grim Monolith. And we're going to play Tezzeret and hope that they don't force it. But if they do, then it's a Mulda 4 basically. So, okay. We will untap the Grim Monolith. I might have been supposed to get a Opal there, but I think it's fine to do that. And then let's just say go. And let's see what our opponent does. I don't think they have a force, because I think they would have forced the Tezzeret in that spot. Mox Emerald. Mox Emerald Saga, so they don't even have like consign mana up. Interesting. Fantasticar. We're definitely minusing. I can get Opal, and that goes up on mana. I could get Vexing Bauble and do Vexing Bauble first. And then Paradoxical Outcome. I guess that's still fine. So if I do that, I PO. I draw 4, but then I'm out of mana. Mox Sapphire is only 1 mana. I think I'm supposed to just play as though they don't have a force. Let's cast Mox Opal. So I currently have 5 mana. I could Fantasticar here and force check them again, but I really don't think they have a force. The problem with me playing Sensei's Divining Top first is it lets them Mind Break trap me. If I car here, I can Sensei's Divining Top, and then I have another shot to find another 1 or a 0. Let's just play the top. Let's draw a card, hold priority. Draw off PO. Play. No response. Okay, we're in the money. I guess I shouldn't have always yielded that. So now we can Black Lotus. Okay, looks like they're F6ing. Sapphire, Opal, Grim Monolith, Tezzeret. I want to keep Force of Will. I'm sorry, I want to keep Ancestral Recall for Force of Will. Let's get Soul Ring. Let's play top. Let's look. Oh, nice. It's too bad we're mana short of Karn. But here we can put Karn back. Put PO, put Probe. We can draw off top. We can probe them. Okay, so they're not doing much. And then here we can just say go. Keep the Lotus in play for now. They probably go land stock up here. But unless their hand is like... Unless their stock up is like double force, they're not doing much. And there's a PO on top of our deck, so let's just actually force pitching recall here. Let's draw our PO. Oh, look, a PO. I don't know why I did that again. I meant to float. I am so dumb. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, but that was really dumb of me to do. Okay, so let's Fantasticar. Cast Jet. Cast Top. PO. Oops, undo. We need to draw a card holding priority. Now we PO. Done. Pay. No to the first one. No response. Yes to the second one. Resolve the PO. Resolve the top. Cast. I'm definitely not doing this optimally. Let's -7. Grim Monolith. Flesh Raker. Ancient Tomb. Flesh Raker. Sacrifice the spawn. Play Sensei's Divining Top. Play Black Lotus. Alright, let's go to combat. Let's choose this artifact, I guess. And we'll get in there. That's the match. Alright, welcome to round 4. I will be on the play. Playing against Justin. Justin has a Luris. We do not. We do not have a keepable hand. Let's mulligan. We have a 4 of a kind. We'll go to 5. Okay, sure. We'll keep. I guess we bottom force and top? Or are we supposed to bottom forge? Yeah, I guess we're supposed to bottom forge. So, no force. And sadly, no forge. Done. Alright, let's play Talon Gates. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. Alright. Second Sensei's Divining Top would be insane here. Tundra, Mox Pearl. Oswald Fiddlebender. Okay. Second top would be great. That's an Ancient Tomb, not a second top. Mental Misstep? Oh no, Force of Negation, sure. And I think we're supposed to attack here, but who knows. I think we have better draws on average. And I am going to sack this Eldrazi spawn to untap my Grim Monolith. I think it's worth it. Soul Ring. Mox Opal. 1 card left in hand. Fiddlebender, the Mox Opal. Sewer Valence. Okay, they untap. Nice. Yep. So I think this lets them get Time Vault and then they get Key. Yep. We'll concede. Begin sideboarding. So we want these Pithing Needles for Oswald and company. They probably have Null Rod in their deck. So Steel Sabotages seem alright. I don't think we really want to be forcing. I could be wrong. We need one more cut. Maybe I just don't play a full suite of Sabotages. And let's try this. I think I like the Chain of Vapor a little bit better than I like a third Steel Sabotage. But who knows. I'll be on the play. Let's hopefully we can keep a better hand. This isn't great, honestly. I think I have to mulligan. What is up with these hands? Why do I have to keep mulliganing? This is insane. Let's go to 5. Alright, well this is a Flesh Raker double top hand, so sure, we'll keep. We'll put back Manifold Key, and do we value the double top or do we value the Flesh Raker? I guess we value the Flesh Raker. Done. Let's play and activate a top. I don't really want any of these. I guess we'll do it like such for now. Because next turn I just want to jam Glaring Flesh Raker. Another Pearl. Pithing Needle. Sure. Glad I bottomed the other top. Strip Mine's annoying. I guess we're just going to name Wasteland now on this second one. Upkeep, draw. Pithing Needle. But we know our next 2 draws are dead. Wasteland. I don't want to play top. I'm not sure if it's correct to play top here or not, but theoretically, I guess if Tolarian Academy is the 3rd card on top of our deck, it's more mana, so we can have 4 mana to cast our Tezzeret. Tolarian Academy, stock up. Okay, it's probably GG's. Yep, good games. We need, like, an actual land now. But with an actual land, Glaring Flesh Raker can get there through a Null Rod. I've done it many times. Another Glaring Flesh Raker. Yep. Alright, we really need a land. I wouldn't be surprised if this got Vexing Bauble. It got Manifold Key. The cool thing with this deck is that Justin obviously... Okay, they could seal a Cleansing it to it whenever they want, obviously. But Justin can always sack the Null Rod to Oswald when it benefits him. Alright. A real land, please. Tezzeret. Nope. Welcome to the 5th and final round, playing against Justin again, and I won the die roll again. They really should do a study on me for die rolls. Alright, this is a turn 1 Glaring Flesh Raker with Force backup. Let's keep. Ancient Tomb, Mox Jet, Glaring Flesh Raker, and we'll pass. Hopefully we don't have to Force of Will anytime soon, but we'll see. Bauble, sure. Crack Bauble, targeting themselves, so they have a fetch land. Okay, they want to keep the card, and they want a swords. Yield. Let's go to our turn. Let's cast the top. Yield. Yield. No response. Let's Tolarian Academy. Time Walk. Look at the top. Yeah, we will put Tezzeret on top. Attack for 2. Go to our turn. Let's Tezzeret. We'll minus. We'll get another top. And we will start doing the kill. Now, they could have Mindbreak Trap. Okay, they do. Awesome. We will play Ancient Tomb. Okay, they buy Luris. Alright, Consign's unfortunate. Tezzeret shuffling our deck, obviously, to find the other top, also unfortunate. Let's attack. See if they lose their Mana Crypt flip. They do. They play a Luris. They can get back Bauble. Any artifact lets us go get Tezzeret. Sorry, any artifact lets us go get a top. It's minus. Let's hope that they don't have... Let's hope that they don't have a Force of Will here. They have another Force of Negation. Okay, well, we're doing the best we can. I am going to attack because they're forced to block. Otherwise, they could lose to their Mana Crypt. All right. They want a coin flip. That's unfortunate for us. Vexing Bauble. They probably cycle that, I would imagine. They do. Mox Pearl. Oswald. So now their Mana Crypt is going away. I really need a good draw here. Key is not a good draw. Let's just pass the turn. So this lets them... We're just dead, basically, because now they can go get Surveillance Cam. Yep. I'm gonna make Justin show me, obviously, but then I'll concede. Alright, they did it. I still like the Pithing Needles. Maybe I want Dismembers. I don't think I want the Forces. Instead of Steel Sabotages, do we want to bring in Dismembers? No, let's keep it like this. Oswald is an annoying card, but I don't think bringing in Dismembers for basically just it is good enough. Yes, I'd like to play first. Justin has not had a game against us today on the play. Let's hopefully change that. How does Saga Gaming sound? I want to try this. Justin's shown a lot of hate and the capability to find said hate. I think I'm just going to go all in on this Urza Saga and see if we can steal a game. Mock Sapphire. Time Walk. Okay. They can still have a Strip Mine. Cycle Lorien. Okay, so they likely don't have Strip Mine. Second Tundra. Is this an Oswald? Dampening Sphere. Well, that's just rude. Dampening Sphere is so hateful. Okay, yeah, it still undoes. Just wanted to... It still does the damage. At this point, we may need to give up on the Construct and just hope that Tinker is fine. Loki, okay. And they're hitting the Saga, which is our Sapphire, which is huge. So now we need to just naturally draw a blue source. Nope. Alright, well. This is one of the examples that I gave. I didn't see Dampening Sphere, obviously, before, but Justin's deck definitely seems very hateful. In a good way, of course. But I gambled on Urza Saga being good, and obviously it wasn't. Wasteland is probably GG's. Yep. I was very impressed with how this deck played in the first 3 rounds. We almost got there against Shockwave on our mold of 5 again in Game 3. We were able to win the Game 3 matchups in rounds 2 and 3. We got to do a lot of cool and broken things. Anytime you get to play with paradoxical outcome, it's just a lot of fun. And then unfortunately we hit a brick wall in Justin Gennari. I believe that's the first time that Justin and I have battled since I started YouTubing. But Justin's Oswald Fiddlebender deck just absolutely destroyed us. Surveillance Camera in the Oswald deck is absolutely insane. Cutting an entire turn off the clock to assemble the combo is nuts. I absolutely love that, and I'm definitely going to have to check it out. Maybe I'll play it in a video soon. I'll have to look at the list and see what I'm missing, but I do look forward to seeing the list regardless. So let's talk BNR. Most players, myself included, do not think that Fantasticar is long for this world. Everyone seems to think that it will be restricted come August in the next BNR announcement. And I think what I'm going to be doing is putting back stock ups, replacing the illegal copies of Fantasticar. I'm going to continue messing with Castle Doom. I unfortunately just don't get to see it a whole lot, and I don't think I saw it maybe once the entire league. So I don't know if that card is good or not. If I decide that Castle Doom isn't good enough, I will put a City of Traders back in the deck. But as it sits, I really like how this deck works. I need to tweak the mana base a little bit, but I love the Mystical Tutor Tinker for Bolus of Citadel combo. The deck just has so many must counter threats. And even though we'll be losing some of them in form of the Fantasticar, stock up will definitely help us find the missing pieces to get the W. Hayden, one more time, buddy. I greatly appreciate you letting me borrow the Fantasticars from you. I hope if you're watching, you enjoyed the last couple videos that I put out with your Fantasticar. And to everyone else, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'll catch you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of these others you might also enjoy. I alternate between playing vintage and powered cubes both on MTGO and MTG Arena. If you like cubing on Arena, but it's too expensive to play as often as you'd like, check out some of my personal MTG Arena Cube videos on this channel. If you like it, join us sometime for a draft. We'd love to have you. If I don't see you in Discord first, I'll catch you in my next video.